Hi Harsh, hi Richard. Hey Nishal, invited you to speak.
Hi Pareen. Hey everyone.
Hey Pareen, hey everyone. Hey Nishal.
Hey.
Hi Nishal.
Hey guys.
Hi Sandeep, invited you to speak. Hi Sandeep, sent you an invite to speak. Awesome. We are here. I think we have a stellar panel today. Absolutely no one here needs any introduction. We are waiting for Kashyapai to join. Kashyapai is here as well. Awesome. Kashyapai requested for you to come on stage. So excited, Harsh and Richa, great to be here. I think this is one of the most prominent panels that I've seen in the Indian ecosystem, and amazing job with what you've done at Push. So I think absolutely no one here needs any introduction. So let's get right into it. We've got a ton of people. I can't even see how many people are here. I think we'll run into thousands of listeners here today. Let's set some context. Very few people know how Push or EPNS really started, and to what heights they have grown in the past few years. I think, Nishal, you were one of the first people working with them. How do you see their journey from the way they started to where they are right now?
Hey. I'm so glad to be here. I'm not sure, but I think this is the first time I'm getting on a Twitter space. So I met Harsh and Richa. I think was that in 2020? It's been a long time.
Yes, that's 2020.
Yeah, and I think it was on Twitter. So, and I think Richa sent me a message, and what caught my attention was they were trying to do something really different, which was notifications for the decentralized. And I think the idea was still very early, and but I understood the core. And when I looked around, I realized there's nothing like that for the blockchain ecosystem. And it seems so obvious if you think about it. Web 2, for example, notifications are the core to everything that we do. And we're talking about blockchain and everything getting decentralized. And there's no solution that talks about messaging or notifications or how do you alert people in this new Web3 ecosystem. And I think that's where I got excited and I got on a call with them. And their background was they come with a background of building products, so that was good. And it just started from there. We did a lot of brainstorming, and eventually we arrived at what you see is EPNS today. It's been very interesting. I think I'm just lucky to be part of that whole. And I think it's always that's the most beautiful phase of anything, which is how do you hash out an idea, and how do you make it into a real product. And I think I've seen Harsh and Richa do that the whole journey, and I'm glad to have arrived to this day where I think this year is going to be really important. And the beauty of all of this is, I think when we were discussing EPNS, Web3 wasn't still really like a term as such. I don't think we also thought of Web3. We were just thinking about notification. But now when I look at what has happened in the last 1.5 years, Web3 has evolved. Everyone's talking about new kind of products that you can build. Gaming has come up so well the play to earn gaming ecosystem. Then now I think notification just seem like the next absolutely needed thing that has to be developed, and I'm just glad that EPNS has already done that. So yeah, that's the short of what I've been seeing at EPNS.
Wow. So 2 years in I think crypto or Web3 ecosystem is like 20 years in normal person's time. That's a lot of background work that seems to have gone. And I think Sandeep has been one of the key advisors to them as well. Sandeep, how have you seen them grow, and what has been your experience of seeing Push at this level where they are today?
So, before that, like, I want to mention, like Harsh and Richa, like, they are such sweet founders of their company. Like, apart from what they are doing in the technology and all that, we'll talk more about that. But then as founders, like, when you meet them, you instantly fall in love with them. Like, they are so humble, so sweet and all that. And that's what, like, I keep telling, even now when they have done quite a lot of things, they are very, down to earth, work day in, day out, and all that. And I think that's a great quality that I personally, admire in founders is the humility even after the success. And I think when I first time, they were in the Bitcoin kernel program. I think they had not even officially started, and I just spoke to them, and like, even though, like, I was like thinking that, okay, how notifications will work in Web3 context and things like that. But even then, like, it was a no-brainer that, I said, like, whatever you want in terms of like grant or anything, like, just go and build. We need entrepreneurs like you in the space. So, and since then they have been like really, they have been able, like, from India, cracking these communities. Like, it's so difficult to, let's say, go ahead and, like, let's say, crack a deal with or whatever, like, get integrated into project like Uniswap and all across the world. Like, I actually met some people in US who spoke positively about them. I mean, at that time, I think it was COVID. Maybe I talked online with some of the people. So it is very rare that a team from India at such early stage gets a lot of visibility and affection from the overseas communities. So it was very obvious to me right from the start. And I proudly say that I was the first check-in, like, in terms of the grant and all that. Maybe some people, they are not, but yeah, it's like one of the things that I say proudly, that I supported them at the start, because obviously it was no brainer. And in terms of tech, I think now the people who are integrating the projects, who are integrating with them, speaks volumes about what they are doing. And like, it's obvious that they're going to attract a lot of attention, adoption and attention in the coming days.
Wow, that's so amazing. Like, two stalwarts of Web3 industry in India saying such high things about you guys. I've rarely seen anything like this for any founder, really. And we know that there is a big reveal coming in. Everyone who is listening will have to wait for some time before the big reveal comes in. I think something that has already been announced. Richa, if you could just shed a little bit of light on what the mainnet launch looks like and how important a milestone it is for you, and then maybe Harsh's comments on what the mainnet is. The mainnet is not the big reveal. We'll wait for that for a while, but just to set the context of where this is headed.
Sure. Thanks, Kareem. And just before I go into your question, I just want to say thanks, Nishal, Sandeep. I mean, I thought we'll talk a lot about like EPNS, but I just can't help but feel a little emotional at the same time. So, having said that, with with the mainnet coming, we are excited because, like Nishal mentioned, that it's almost years of hard work and research and all the work that we as a team, Nishal, Sandeep, as advisors, not just advisors, I think these people have played an instrumental role in where we are. from giving time at like 3 or 2 a.m. in the morning, having calls with Sandeep, to weekly check-ins with Nishal. That's the kind of people they are, kind of underplaying their role in this journey and the milestone. And I think that's what we wanted to do today, sort of have a celebration of everything that has gone into it. With the mainnet on 11th of January, we are going to be live on the Ethereum mainnet. The protocol is going to be live. We are working with our partner collaborators to have the channels up and running. So from different use cases like governance proposals to getting notified about your loan liquidations, all those use cases with different partners will be live, up and running. And yeah, we are super excited about everything that's coming up, including the big reveal like Farid mentioned. Maybe Harsh wants to add some more context there.
Got it. So, my turn. First of all, Sandeep, by the way, we always proudly put that Sandeep was the first check-in to someone else. So, thanks for being proud about it. The feeling is likewise. Nishal, if you haven't heard, we call you our third co-founder. Thanks for doing us that. Guys, on to mainnet. What does the mainnet entail? That's the major important thing. Like we have to observe that when we were building this communication layer, we were actually inventing it, which meant one has built it out. Which was the reason, like when we started, the start was quite quick, but after that we had to work with the top projects of the industry to make this a possibility. Because again, remember, no one has done this, so it needs to basically be done, invented, created. Not only that, it needs to accumulate all the features which all of these projects, all the big projects wants to have. For example, Polygon, they're amazing in scaling Ethereum, and they have so many dApps. And if we have to go over there, and of course that's one of the things, but not the thing. But yeah, if we are going over there, like how do we manage all that communication coming in and make sure that it's effectively delivered? Not only that, when we are talking about Ethereum, when we are talking about DeFi governance, when we are talking about NFT, metaverse, all the use cases which these people have, how do we manage that? And that is what the story to mainnet leads. What we did was we worked with, and we are gracious, we're grateful that the top projects, they basically said that, come, let's work together. We'll help you build out the future of Web3, and we'll help you build out the future. That's what we did. We worked with Aave, we worked with Uniswap, we worked with EPNS, we worked with Maker, we worked with Polygon, Gitcoin, TrueFi, Alpha Umara put together, and around top 40 plus projects to make sure that the communication layer that we develop that becomes the backbone of Web3 in the future. That's when the moment comes, it's actually there. And that is what mainnet actually means to us, rather than, just a date. That's a bit about mainnet, and Pareen is definitely going to tell me because, I went off this script on the agenda of points which we had to talk about. But yeah, I'll shut up right now, Pareen.
No, I think while everyone waits for the big reveal, we've already started getting requests from people to ask questions, and we will take the questions in a bit. I think Harsh has already made a small reveal here by saying Polygon. So Harsh, does this mean that this is going multi-chain, and apart from Ethereum, you're launching on Polygon? You already said that. I think a lot of small reveals while we do this. While mainnet itself is a big deal, are you also saying that you are going multi-chain by launching on Polygon now?
Yes, so that's not the. I think in its own way, it's a major reveal, and it requires its own pieces. But in the context of this space, it's not it has been public almost all the time that Polygon backed us from the very start. And no matter whether it was planned, whether it was coming in the round, whatever we needed, I mean, Sandeep and Polygon, they did it for us. So, of course, it's kinda explained over here, or kind of the worst kept secret that we are going to come on Polygon. But the biggest secret is that, under the hood, we have already deployed on Polygon testnet, and we are testing the staging site out. So yeah, right after Ethereum, Polygon is where the EPNS home would be. And yeah, we're quite excited about it. Getting all those tabs to send notifications and communication at the speed of light via Polygon. That's going to be amazing.
So I just want the audience to understand what does this mean. I think I have read that Polygon's DAUs are through the roof, and the kind of applications being built on Polygon are seeing a lot of adoption, and in itself are an ecosystem, right? From DeFi apps like Uniswap V3 launching on Polygon to metaverses being launched on Polygon. Sandeep, if I could bring you in here to tell us maybe 2 or 3 use cases that you see where push would be very instrumental. What kind of applications do you see? Whereas we've seen Aave and Uniswap, a couple of ENS being one of the big drivers of adoption. Are there some specific use cases that you are excited about with push on Polygon?
Yeah, I think one like obviously the most common one would be payments itself. Like if let's say they are able to give like apps are able to give, or apps are able to give notifications on the payments itself, like that's the most common and easiest use case. But apart from that, I think DeFi strategies and a lot of places where like I always keep thinking that generally on some DeFi applications, if let's say the markets are behaving in a particular direction, and it is able to provide push is able to provide notifications around it, that how my yields are evolving, or what kind of actions or what kind of market conditions are resulting in my DeFi positions, let's say, that could also be great. Even NFTs, like people are doing a lot of different stuff. You are creating NFTs in metaverses. For example, you created a museum in Decentraland, for example, and you want that notification that anytime a new user enters my museum, and I get a notification. So the use cases are like absolutely endless, and I think gaming and DeFi will drive that from the front.
Wow, so gaming and DeFi in itself are big verticals when it comes to Web3, and just these two adopting would be a phenomenal thing right here. We can't even probably predict the amount of notifications that need to be sent today, which are not being sent. And just wallet to wallet, I can see that MetaMask itself doesn't have notifications. When someone sends me a payment, I have to wait, keep refreshing, and that seems like the most talked about thing here. Harsh, do you want to go ahead and do the big reveal without further ado? We've set enough ground here, and we are. I think the excitement is too much. I can see just way too many requests for questions here, and maybe it's just time to go ahead and tell everyone what the big reveal here, man.
Awesome. So yeah, drop notes, guys. But before the meeting, let me tell you a story. Guys, when we started this communication layer, the first thing was very clear to us that this is going to be a communication protocol. But if you look back in the past, like whenever some communication protocol is built whenever communication has come into the play, whether it was in 2010 with Apple and Web 2.0. The first thing they did was they introduced notifications, which enabled services to finally interact with their users, and that's a very, very big utility. But we don't usually have those many notifications now from the services. Then we have notifications from our friends. That's like talking about WhatsApp in case you did. And WhatsApp is not a notification protocol, it's a chat protocol. And that is a big reveal. We basically have been researching and getting out proof of concept for wallet-to-wallet communication as well. Idea being that with notifications perfected, wallet-to-wallet communication can now be launched, or it can now be introduced. And happy to say we have conducted our first POC, and now it's on way to get. So why are we distinguishing about notifications and wallet-to-wallet messaging, but W2WM, a new acronym? So yeah, yes.
Wait. Harsh. What you're saying is that it's not just notifications sent by applications now. People like us will be able to send messages from wallet to wallet in a decentralized way. Are you saying that this is something similar to what we saw when something like WhatsApp was launched? Because now this becomes truly peer to peer. Apart from getting messages from the apps that I get today on WhatsApp, actually business messages that I get from my bank on WhatsApp, I can also send messages to other wallet addresses without even sharing my data out there.
Exactly, Pareen. I've seen that, and this is actually the first time we are talking about it.
Okay. I didn't have a drum roll music in the background, but I could feel it in my head, because this seems to be the next logical step here. Absolutely, if you build a notification service that's completely private and decentralized, why not allow every wallet to send message to every wallet? And this opens up the floodgates for everyone to start using it without even having to use one of the apps that's partnered with you. Does that sound right?
Yes. I mean, think about if you just think about it, metaverse is here, like Decentraland is here, but people don't have a way to communicate with one another. When an NFT collection is launched, people don't have a way to communicate to their creators. So, we were talking about services communicating to the users. Chat basically flips that around. It enables users to basically also communicate with services. And it opens up whole new revenues or whole new inventions. So just imagine an NFT getting out, which if you hold, it will allow the celebrity who has launched that NFT to have a one-on-one chat with you, totally decentralized, totally anonymous. That's a use case which hasn't been invented yet. I'm just throwing it out in case someone wants to build that using the W2W chat feature of ours. The other thing is like Decentraland, as I was saying, Metaverse is already here, guys. But is Metaverse really here? Can I really talk to someone when I'm going over there? Or do Metaverse community, they communicate that let's hang out over here on Discord or on Telegram? Well, the answer is because there's no Web3 native communication, they're forced to do that. But with wallet to wallet, that is solved. You can also basically bring Vitalik, and in case you have a good idea, maybe he'll opt in and he'll respond to you guys. But you can talk to anyone who has a wallet. Maintain your pseudo anonymity. They maintain their pseudo anonymity. But more than that, this Web3 communication layer is finally moving a step ahead. It's moving from enabling services to send communication to the users to also now including users to talk to other users and making Web3 a bit more social than it was before us.
Okay. This is just too much to wrap our heads around. I think it's time to bring Kashif Bhai in to do his magic and simplify what we just talked about, because I think unless he explains, the Indian community doesn't get it. Probably Kashif Bhai, in your style, if you could just let us digest this. How big do you see this is, from just going from a notification system to complete wallet to wallet messaging, which also incorporates privacy and complete decentralization out there. Like how do you see this now?
Now, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me. And first of all, congratulations, Harsh, Richa, and also Nishchal and Sandeep for believing in their story, because it's commendable to see that how projects from India are doing so well and how they're innovating in this space. And you're absolutely right, Sandeep. Both of them are like really cute, cuter than most of the founders in Web2. And we recently saw an example of cuteness. So yes, they're absolutely, the moment you get to know Harsh and Richa, they're like amazing human beings, and you never feel like you're talking to somebody who are building something so amazing with zero attitude, to be very honest. They're so focused on their work. And I'll be honest, what you just announced at this very juncture, even if now, before going ahead on what you have revealed, even if you see the world without notifications, can you imagine a world without notifications? No, you can't. You can't. What is this handset? What use this handset has in your hand? I mean, how this handset is alive only when you get a notification. Otherwise, this is just a dead piece. Even if you have iPhone Pro 13, or if I have Pixel, or if you have Samsung or Vivo, what use it has? The only use it has is that it alerts you, and you get those alerts through notifications. So Web2 got transformed through notifications only. Now imagine a WhatsApp without notifications. The WhatsApp reached here because there were notifications. You are continuously being alerted about your text, about your updates, about things, right? And the moment you switch off your notifications, your world seems to get
I think we lost Kashif Bhai for a bit there. Maybe while he connects back, probably we could hear from Sandeep and Nishal. What do you think about this new feature reveal? Actually, it's not just a feature. I think it's just a new leg of innovation and invention that both of them are doing, which is wallet to wallet messaging. Sandeep, if I could bring you in first to know your thoughts about how wallet to wallet messaging is going to take this to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, see, wallet to wallet messaging. I mean, I have even personally multiple times I've thought that if this kind of messaging can be created right now, all these addresses are anonymous addresses. If you know that okay, who controls this address, then you have a way to communicate with them. But right now there's no other way where you can communicate to an address. You might want to let's say drop a message to or do something with your let's say a lot of community members, people, a project. Always the biggest problem in this industry is to kind of bootstrap and build your communities. And then if you have a way where you can somehow have wallet to wallet messaging for let's say building new communities into it, a new project is coming, he can use this feature to kind of onboard a lot of legit users with legit on-chain activity, not like bots and thousands and thousands of people coming into there, which might not have genuine on-chain activity. So obviously this looks like a really great feature to me, and I think it has already a lot of usage, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will start using it soon. Even we might have few use cases which we were previously thinking, and to use in our marketing, let's say at Polygon. So I think it's a great feature to add.
Wow. Nishal, your thoughts on how this is going to be a game changer?
Look, I think there's so many ways in which you can look at it. But when I think about messaging, it's sort of that. If you look at Web 2.0 and how these social networks came about, I think initially it was the address book, the phone book that everyone tapped into to build out your networks. And on Web 3.0, you don't have that starting point. Now, this might be one of those attempts where the communication that you do with different wallets, that helps you build out your base network. So, let's say wallet A communicates with 20 other wallets. Now that's a skeleton social graph that gets created. And when Web3 products like decentralized social probably build out the right decentralized social network, because right now, if you look at what was attempted in decentralized networking, was trying to replicate Twitter and the other existing centralized networks. But what was missing was the underlying, I would say, the social graph. And you cannot just forcefully create a social graph. It has to happen naturally. On Web 2.0, it was the address book. It was your either your email address book or your phone book. And I think on Web 3.0, it could be the communication layer. And if that happens, I think this will be one of those pivotal moments where we, all of us, I think, together made that possible. So I think I'm more excited about that. The kind of network this can create and help future products be built on top of it. I think that's the exciting part for me.
Wow, I think we have Kashif bhai back with us. Kashif bhai, we lost you for a bit there.
Yeah, I got the notification that I got dropped off. So notification plays a very important role when you get dropped off from a conversation. So yes, notification. I was just trying to make people understand that without notification is such an underrated thing. That Web 2 today, what we are seeing without notification couldn't have been made. Right. So without notification, we couldn't have reached where we have actually reached today in Web 2. Now a similar the thing, in Web 3, when we are seeing the kind of exponential growth we are seeing in dApps and DeFi and NFTs and the whole metaverse is being built. The entire Web 3 will eventually when you'll interact with the Web 3, when the users will interact with Web 3, they'll definitely like to have a similar kind of an experience what they were getting in Web 2. And notification definitely is an important and integral part. And what today, Richa and Harsh, what you guys have revealed today is something very important and relevant. I can just imagine a situation where, suppose I'm in a metaverse and I was trying to figure out a jacket for my avatar, and I was trying to figure out a jacket, and I know that a particular jacket or an NFT is owned by a public address, right? And I know that public address through the address, the string of alphanumeric number, right? And now I want to communicate with him on individual basis that if he is interested in selling that. Now a similar kind of a thing I do it in Web 2 as well, where I try to interact with people on Web 2 and try to figure out if they are interested in taking some sort of an action. So in metaverse, suppose if I want to communicate with somebody and if I can do it on individual basis by maintaining our privacy, now imagine the whole lot of economy, the potential of economic activities we can get into. Now the only option today where I can do this economic activity of trading in NFTs is to go on OpenSea and see who's trying to sell an NFT, and I'll try to gauge through many marketplaces, and then I might not be able to get my thing which I'm looking at. But in metaverse, when I'll see public addresses and what they are holding, I can interact with them. Now just interact with them. So suppose I've left a message to Harsh that Harsh, I'm interested in buying your jacket, and I just texted him, and now Harsh didn't reply to me. Maybe when Harsh woke up in the morning and when he saw a notification or a message came to him, and there also notification will play an important role that Harsh has got a message on his app, and from there he can just maybe if he's interested in selling his jacket or an NFT, maybe we can take our conversation forward. I think the whole new paradigm shift will evolve here. Now, why EP? Now you can ask me this question, and I can in fact ask this question to Harsh as well. That why this is special? Why? Because anybody can build this application, and tomorrow anybody can come up with solution. Why this is special is purely because of only two things. The making a decentralized messaging platform is easy, but making a notification and a messaging platform is difficult, right? So you can create a messaging platform, but then you have to integrate that eventually with EPNS. Now, EPNS is like a WhatsApp of Web3, where they have notifications as well and a decentralized messaging application. So just imagine a messaging application without a notification is nothing. WhatsApp without a notification is nothing. But WhatsApp with notification is WhatsApp today, what we all know. So that is how big it is. And I think many congratulations to you, Harsh and Richa. And please tell me if I'm missing something, because I'm really looking forward to it.
Got it right. You have the knack of explaining it so well that everyone else just becomes silent after that. Because someone really wants to.
Thank you very much.
Do a better AI funny. So as I said,
Harsh, I think we have one. I think we have one more of your early supporters and advisors here. DeFi Dad is on the stage. Would be amazing to know your thoughts on how you see push going to the next level here.
First of all, I want to say hi to I'm a huge fan of DeFi Dad. Thank you very much, DeFi Dad, for coming.
Yeah. And I see, DeFi Dad, Travis DeFi Dad is here, and then, I see Vijay sir also in the audience. Nikhil is also there, Nikhil Chirappa. This is like a really amazing, Twitter Spaces. Unfortunately, I have to drop. I'm already 10 minutes late for the call, so please pardon me, guys. But really amazing stuff here.
Thank you, Sandeep, so much.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you.
And
We can send you an invite.
Good to see you, Nikhil, and good to see you, Vijay Sharma. I just followed you back, and I got so happy that you're listening on this piece. But yeah, DeFi Dad, go for it.
I think, go ahead, DeFi Dad.
Oh, guys, I didn't want to add too much. I think you've all, clearly shared why we desperately need EPNS. But one thing I wanted to point out is I do remember when Harsh and Richa were first coming up with this idea of having Web3 based notifications. First off, you have to appreciate that notifications is one of those driving forces behind Web 2 that keeps us very engaged. I know Harsh has shared a bunch of stats with me previously, that people are 10 times more likely to look at a notification versus an email. And then once you become aware of that, you realize that a lot of the applications you use on your mobile phone, it's all notifications, and that this is something that has been missing from Web3. Now, 2 years ago, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to, I think, a lot of people when we were trying to explain this concept of like why we're building this, like why we need it so desperately, because DeFi was just starting to become, more popular. There was like less than a dozen applications at the time. Most of them at the time also lived on Ethereum. And, since then, of course, like we've had this explosion of like 250 billion in assets across Ethereum, Polygon, Solana, and so on. And so now that there is a flourishing of users that are, absolutely dependent on DeFi, it is their default finance system. Now it makes a lot of sense that there should be an urgency for us to more directly communicate with those users. And so obviously the announcement today, I have been like so excited for that to get out, that not only are we thinking about how a protocol or a community or a DAO can directly communicate with their users, but it also opens the door for users to be able to communicate, because the future is clearly that our identity is going to be tied to something like our EPNS, or basically our wallet. And if that's the future, it's very important that we're able to directly communicate with that identity. I mean, the use cases just for notifications without even the wallet to wallet messaging, there's so many of these that, I personally, of course, like have struggled with this inability to be contacted by protocols. I've been in yield farms where there's been an exploit. And how do I find out about the exploit? How do I find out that I lost money? I have to hop into something like Discord or Twitter. I go on Twitter and I see an announcement. I mean, it's kind of insane that like millions of dollars can be hacked. $100 million can be stolen, from a protocol. And we find out by looking at like posts on Twitter. The fact that you can't be directly communicated to through your wallet address, that's the whole point here. So we've got the exploits, we've got better news that we want to communicate, like new farms, maybe a new token. There's been a lot of token migrations over the last few years where people have lost money because they didn't migrate before the deadline. And that was another example where I was like, we are so desperate for this protocol to go live because we need to be able to message everyone who holds this older token that is going to become worthless unless they migrate it to the new token standard. And then you have voter apathy, which, continues to become worse and worse across all of Web3. There's so many of us that are working on countless projects. And that's wonderful because we have a community that has the freedom to work across so many projects and sort of use that asymmetric expertise to make other protocols successful. But the problem is that it's just difficult time-wise and bandwidth to keep up with all these different votes. So there's another crucial use case that we'll be able to be alerted, hey, 24 hours left, please vote. Literally at some point, I'm imagining that these tools will look and feel a little bit like marketing automation, where you can say, if someone has subscribed to the Aave channel, and if that person stakes Aave in the governance module, let's alert those people if that person hasn't voted. So, I mean, what's going to go live is probably going to look much more, primitive than like still what I'm envisioning in the next few years for this. But we're going to go from not being able to communicate and hoping to God that people check Twitter and Discord and all of these centralized tools so that they can stay up to date with our protocol, to really being able to directly engage. And then I guess lastly with the wallet to wallet messaging, I mean, I'm living through the pains of not having this right now. I'm in the Parallel community, which is a trading card game. It's a lot like Magic or Pokemon. And so I could trade some of these cards, but in order for me to do it, I have to go through Discord. And then I have to be clever enough to know how to use a number of different tools for trading those NFTs permissionlessly so that I don't get scammed, it would help so much to just be able to directly communicate with one another by wallet address versus having to, of course, go through these tools like Discord. So anyways, I mean, I feel like I've been banging the drum on this for 2 years. Every team I meet with, every single day, there's a team that has a need for EPNS, and if they don't know it exists or that it's being developed, they are learning that, and so that's why the team has. I mean, at this point, they have like 100 plus partners. Every blue chip name in DeFi has signed up. So anyways, guys, just congrats on the announcement. I'm very excited for the mainnet launch next week. And I mean, for anyone who's newer to EPNS, this is really, it's like, step one of many more steps that are going to lead to, I think, a more engaging Web3. I think that like it's remarkable how much we've grown to this point. But once we have tools like this that allow us to more directly engage with our community, it's just going to be so exciting to see, to see people become that much more engaged. So,
wow, that's I think that was a great summary of why this is needed. I can see Nikhil, but I think he's not able to join. Maybe in a while when he's able to join, I'll bring him up on stage. But I think what DeFi Dad said, one thing really stood out of all of that is, the best of startups, people just don't know that they need them. The best of startups are the ones who are solving problems that are just not apparent until you get to that stage where oh, okay, this was missing all of this while. And I think that's what everyone has been emphasizing here. Kashifbhai, I think now that you're here, maybe you want to complete what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, so the important part, what I was saying earlier as well, was that how easy it'll be for people, for two individuals to interact peer to peer and, start conversation of what they are possessing in metaverse. Like imagine if I'm able to see some NFTs are in possession of a public address, right? Since you can see what that particular public address is holding in its wallet. And if I know that I'm interested in certain things, now just imagine I can interact with that wallet, and I can start a conversation that let's get into a trade, and I'm interested in buying your stuff. How we can do that trade? So just imagine the scale of trade. Ultimately the scale at which the NFTs will get traded will eventually be unimaginable. I mean, and what will happen, as DeFi Dad just said, that ultimately the conversation and the communication happening on the front, where we are seeing that a lot of the exploits have happened in DeFi space as well. Those kind of messaging and alerts can be quite faster, and you'll get those alerts on a very instant basis. So I think this messaging notification plus messaging and plus both the combination is amazing. I mean, in coming future, you'll see today how these messaging platforms and applications have grown immensely. I think in Web3, why EPNS stands a better chance is because the messaging applications and plus a combination of notification will make it successful. If notification would have been missing from it, probably the scale and the success of this messaging platform wouldn't have been that much. But because of notification, this peer-to-peer decentralized messaging will take the NFT economy, the metaverse economy to a different level altogether.
Wow, that's amazing. I think we've got a lot of perspectives here. Definitely, there is no dearth of use cases, and wallet to wallet messaging takes it to a different level, it would be amazing to see how that looks when it is actually out there for all of us to use, right? I think at this point in time, we have some questions from people who had commented on the announcement here, and maybe we can take a couple of those and then open the stage up for people here who requested. I can see so many requests. People have a lot of questions here, but I would urge everyone to keep it very short. Just ask a question, or if you have to make a comment, please do that, and please tell us who you want this question to answer. Otherwise, I'll just pick someone from the panel to answer each question. But before we do that, I think a lot of people filled a Google form and replied on Twitter comments. One of the questions that I see here is really important. And maybe Harsh or Richa, you can take this first. Here, I think what they're saying is, how do we identify if notifications are spam or legit? And how do you differentiate? Is there some kind of a spam score when it comes to these notifications that you are sending out? I think Nimit Jain asked this on Twitter.
Got it. So awesome question, Nimit. That was incidentally one of the one of the first questions that services also asked in Web3. And basically happy to share that there are 3 layers of security to prevent spam, and they kick in different intervals for the protocol. So let's say you are a user and you basically go to a front end, or you basically go to a service. So as a user wallet address, that service will never be able to send you notifications unless you opt in to receiving notifications from that service, which essentially means that you sign a message and send it to the network, and that message basically says that I want to receive notification from the service. So from the start, a service cannot really spam you. We didn't want essentially Telegram type of experience, because personally I'm not able to see any messages from anyone on Telegram because of that. So yeah, the second set of spam security kicks in the middle. So again, just like what Twitter foresees, we also foresee that maybe sometimes a service that is really a good actor in the ecosystem, maybe in the middle they start going bad. And in that case, what we have is something called a spam score. So whenever a service wants to send a notification out, before that they have to activate themselves, and at that point of time we attach a spam score to them. This spam score always fluctuates between 0 and 1. 0 being that you're a really good actor, 1 being you're really a bad actor. And now, as the service behaves, whether it's sending the users more than the average amount of notification, which is a bad signal, whether more users are opting out of that service, again a bad signal, or whether more users are opting in, or a passage of time is going by, which is a good signal. So based on that, a score is given to that service, which will fluctuate from 0 to 1. Now, if a service basically goes beyond a certain score in that spam, let's say 0.7, then the notifications are automatically throttled by the network until a point comes when it's actually stopped.
Is how do you ensure trust and authenticity of information when it comes to Web3 communications? Richard, do you want to take this question?
I can probably take this, but because
please go ahead.
Technical question.
Yeah.
It's a very nice question, and I'll try to keep it very brief. So, guys, authenticity. Yeah. So the way we ensure it is by running push nodes. which are validator nodes, and their entire job is to make sure that EPNS communication is validated through EPNS code, as well as ensuring that we are able to support multi-chain communication, whether it's notification or chat messages. Now, when it comes to crypto front end and them receiving these information, so there are two ways to it. If a crypto front end, let's say for example MetaMask or Trust, they have adopted EPNS protocol, then they can run this their own. What the SDK is designed to do is at least picking two random nodes or push nodes and verifying that those two information are right before signaling that this information is likely authentic.
Okay, so you are following all the principles of decentralization and of Web3 out there without compromising on anything that the user expects from your messaging service. I think that shows a lot about how principled your approach is in terms of building here. Maybe now what we can do is just open up. I would really request everyone to keep it relevant to what we are discussing here and ask a question. If you want a particular panelist to answer this, please tell us that person's name so we know who your question is directed to. I think Bishara, I've just requested you on stage. Sai, Anish, a few people, I'm just inviting you on stage. Happy to take your questions, and I think you can't find a better panel to answer your questions here than what we have here. Anish, Shik. Yep. Feel free to accept. Yeah, Anish is here. I think we'll take Anish's question and then Bishara's question.
Hey guys, lovely conversation so far. So I've been following this project since quite a long time. I've not yet read the white papers, for my bad. So excuse me if this question would already be addressed if I would read the white paper. I'm curious to know what's the use case of the token in terms like why should I need the token? Like just trying to understand where will that play a role in terms of project and the use cases. Amazing. Like, it makes a lot of sense. After listening to the conversation, I'm more and more inclined towards how this can change a lot of things. But I'm just curious to know the use case of the token. Thanks a lot, by the way.
Thank you, Anish. I think one of the team members could take this.
Got it. I think I need to take this. So, Anish, by the way, that's a very valid question. We did write about the token use cases in our white paper, but
I think Salonity you will have to mute.
Yeah, so I think it's better now. So yeah, we did write it about the token use cases on our white paper. Split into 4 use cases. The first use case is, of course, running the push nodes with a proof of stake. So again, of course, to make that network decentralized, we do need people to come in and run those push nodes. And of course, the incentives needs to be aligned to what Net 2.0 usually offers or what Solana is giving with the staking and slashing mechanism. The second use case which we have is something which revolves around governance and governance DAO. Those are 2 different things for us because, again, this is a live communication middleware, which means that there are settings in the protocol which we need governance users to take action on. Like very recently, I told you that if a channel is spamming a lot, the governance holders can move it out. So that is not the only setting. There are so many settings in the protocol, including charging a fee, which I'll come to later, which the token is going to get utilized and some of those settings are live in the V1 of the protocol itself. The governance now, of course, is a totally different beast. We basically gave away 53% of our tokens to the community. the idea always been a decentralized communication middleware needs to be run by the community rather than anyone else. The governance DAO essentially decides how to put use of those 53% or at least the majority of the tokens that will be there in the community after we have decided the push nodes rewards and some other rewards that will go out. The third major use case revolves around incentives and network growth. So not a lot of people usually talk about, but the way Bitcoin and Ethereum network growth occurs is also because of their incentivization strategy. Like at 2.0, all of the people who are staking on at 2.0, they are staking because they will get rewards. And when it comes to the push protocol or EPNS protocol, again, this incentive growth or this incentive strategy will revolve around having active users. It will revolve around enabling or rewarding developers who build very useful channels for these active users. Of course, some of it like staking and yield farming, you guys have already seen that basically revolves around encouraging or incentivizing users to stake their tokens so that they can take part in governance as well as have aligned incentive. So that is incentive growth. And the last thing, which is something we are really proud of or happy to design in our token design, the last thing is the reward split. So at one point of time, the protocol will have, at one point of time, the governance people or the token holders will have the right to turn on the switch and start charging services and communicate and wallet users and chat and communication a certain amount of fees in terms of SaaS model, monthly or a yearly model. Whenever that happens, we foresee it at least to be 8 to 10 months away or a year away. But that really happens through governance, so it's up to you guys. But whenever that happens, a fee pool would be opened in the protocol, and that fee pool basically start accumulating interest. To an extent, this has already happened with V1 of the protocol because we are charging the activation fee, and all the activation fee that is going into the protocol, the interest of it is going into the fee pool as well. Now, if you are a token holder, you basically have the right to define like what percentage of this reward pool goes to crypto wallets that have adopted EPNS, which further boosts the entire network effect and grows the ecosystem, and what percentage also goes to people who are holding these tokens, which again is true even right now because of the activation fee that will come live in V1 of the protocol. How does that work? Well, basically, push also has a time-weighted index, and that is attached to the ERC20 smart contract. And because of that, we are able to find, or the protocol is able to find that for how long you have held the token and for how long the token has been in existence. Using that, it can calculate the ratio or the exact amount of shares you have for the push protocol, and using that the fee is divided. So these are the 4 major use cases for notifications and for running the push nodes. Of course, for chat, now we are working on the token economics or expanding the token economics. So those will be out as and when we get there.
Wow, I don't think I've seen such a comprehensive answer to how your token is built into your ecosystem, and from what you've done for push notifications, it seems it is almost like a revenue sharing thing with your community, right? When token holders and a lot of governance rights. I think that sums it up. I hope that was good enough, Anish. Let's take Bishara's question. Vishara, can you unmute and ask your question?
All right, thank you for taking my question. Thank you, Harsh, for the extensive answers here. Just a quick question, two questions I have for the newcomers, especially. They're asking a lot of questions about is this going to be built on Ethereum? Is it built on Ethereum? That's number one. Number two, because it's built on Ethereum, are they going to have to pay anything for gas fees to receive or notifications by any chance? That's all. Thank you.
Got it. Those are really awesome questions, Vishara. And the marketing team had told me that keep your questions or keep your answers brief. So I'm trying my very hard to make sure to summarize things and still explain it well, guys. The first thing is the protocol is built on Ethereum, but it's built with the multi-chain architecture, which means that, of course, as we had revealed, that we'll be coming on Polygon next. But after that, we can come on any EVM and non-EVM chain, and of course on any L2. The vision is to become the de facto communication layer of Web3, which means that we'll be coming to a lot more places. And I know that is Ethereum push notification service is kind of a misnomer at this point. So another reveal will be done for that very, very soon. Moving to the next question, like the gas fee. So the version 0 of the protocol, the one we designed on the hackathon, that had the gas fee. The version 1 of the protocol, the user never have to pay any gas. The user simply has to sign their intent using their wallet address, send it to the push node, and that's about it. After that, they will receive notifications. There will never be a moment in time when the user will pay for gas or anything else. Even the services, when they have to send notifications, the way V1 is designed, most of these notifications the service can send directly to the network unless a smart contract is involved, in which case, of course, the smart contract interaction takes place.
Awesome.
Yeah, great. Harsh, I would urge you not to reveal more. We need to do way more spaces. If you reveal everything right here, then it's going to be all out there. At this point, let me get Sid Code. Sid Code, if you have any question, Sid, come. Let's answer that.
Sure. Firstly, thank you, Pareen, for hosting such a nice space and for everyone to be so upfront and explaining everything easily. So my question is, what were the technical and design challenges while implementing wallet-to-wallet messaging? Especially for Ethereum and also as you think about multi-chain messaging.
Got it. So, Sidcode, the major challenge which was there for chat, or in a way, if I put it, the way we envisioned that the chat can really work was to make sure that the notification layer can work. And not only on Ethereum, but on multiple chains, so that the chat doesn't really is limited to just the Ethereum users. It can be a chat between an Ethereum user and the Solana user, and both are getting the notifications as long as we as push nodes, we are supporting their blockchains. So the major challenge was figuring out multi-chain first and perfecting the notifications. The way we perfected it, I did touch upon it briefly. We never went for perfection from ourselves. We reached out to all these projects like Uniswap, EPNS, MakerDAO, Gitcoin, Polygon, etc. And we asked them that, hey guys, we are building and inventing something really cool. Would you guys be gracious enough to help us do that? And, that this is the reason why we love Ethereum so much. Everyone said we are in. And not only did we build the features with them, we also essentially built notifications for their users on their different use cases, which also becomes our primary user base as we launch on mainnet and as we now launch their services out. So yeah, that's the answer.
Cool. And what will the design look like for the end user? Like, how will this be integrated with different applications?
Got it. So the design, we will provide a front-end SDK which wallets can use to essentially transform it to our design. But that front-end SDK will have two elements to it. Like you can basically either take the JSON payload, the pure JSON payload, and represent it as you want, or you can take the JSON payload, pass it through our filter, and put in the front end or display it as a front end as how it will look on our site. Again, this is an open chat. This is an open W2W chat layer, which means that if you're talking within our mobile app to a different wallet address, and then let's say you switch to MetaMask, and MetaMask at that point of time hypothetically have adopted us, then you'll be able to carry the conversation over there and on any other wallet or any other crypto wallet front end that has integrated the EPNS protocol.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
We're just short of revealing the UI here. That will take another space. We have Nikhil here. Finally, he was not able to join earlier, and I think it would be amazing to know your thoughts, Nikhil. What do you think? What are these guys up to right here?
Hey guys, it's been fascinating to listen to everyone over the past 45 minutes to an hour or so. Actually, much longer than that. Time's really flown by. And the conversations have been fascinating. The first time I heard about EPNS, I was actually stumped by the fact that it didn't already exist, because in Web 2, we're so used to notifications, whether it's from email or WhatsApp or Facebook or Instagram or so many other different platforms, that the fact that this didn't exist for Web 3 was astounding. And as we've seen in the past, it's usually the simplest ideas and the ones that are the most obvious, that are the most beautifully executed, and that work the best. And I think that that's what's going to happen with EPNS as well. I'm very excited to hear that this is going to go across onto other chains and other platforms as well. It's not going to be just EPNS. So, Harsh and Richa, maybe we need to start scratching our heads. But what we're going to name this, because obviously can't be called EPNS for much longer. It's going to go on to multiple chains. But I did have another thought, which is, since you are a communications layer, and if you look at communications and the way they operate these days, the best way to get an idea across to many people instantly is to be able to enable liking, sharing, and commenting, which is, the holy trifecta of everything in Web 2. Is there a plan to build that out along with just messaging and push notifications on EPNS? And is there a way to actually bridge Web 3 and Web 2 for something exciting to be happening on Web 3, for it to be seamlessly translated and posted out onto Web 2 platforms, which is where most of our audience is currently? And I'm envisioning that will change slowly over time. But is there a way to bridge that as well?
No, now this is next level reveal.
Sorry.
Oh man.
my brain is thinking in different directions. I have no idea where I'm going with this.
You're thinking years ahead of what everyone else is thinking. Probably that's why Harsh is laughing.
No, I was just trying to take a screenshot because Nikhil's in the space. So yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just fascinated by the future, and I know that it's very difficult to map what's already happened in the past, because the pace of change is increasingly getting quicker and quicker. And I don't know whether our experiences of the past can actually be effectively mapped onto what our predictions for the future are going to be. But either which way, I'm sitting on the sidelines with a gin in my hand and just grinning widely, fascinated by everything that's happening around me.
That's so awesome to hear. And yeah, Nikhil, you're back on to the point, and thanks for following the EPNS project. I think it just brings us so much happiness for you to just say that. So yeah, moving to the point, we cannot really predict the future. You actually tweeted it out, and to the way we have built the push protocol out was to make sure that we are not taking any assumptions on what will the next storage protocol would be, or what will the next content interpretation would be. So the way we built this around was we created storage flag, we created content flags that can change based on where the notifications or where a payload is stored. It can also change based on what content is getting delivered to the users. So what you said, like share and retweet, that can essentially be a new content. We are working with Snapshot to basically come up with a new content structure or payload or structure build, which essentially allows the user to vote yes and no right from the notification themselves, and the like, share, and retweet when we do it. And for that to be done, of course, the entire thing needs to be transformed to social media, which is why Pareen said that you are talking way into the future. So yeah, a short answer, it can be done. Long answer, it's a bit into the future because we do need social media. And yes, I think you have time traveled a lot, Nikhil.
I'm just wondering if you leave social media out of this and we go into what you're doing right now, which is enabling communications from wallet to wallet. Is there a way of being able to like, share, and comment onto various wallets? Is there a way of following wallets or having a network of wallets that you communicate with regularly, much like your WhatsApp chat list?
Got it. So yeah, that way is there. The liking of wallets, not so much right now, but as I said, the content can be programmed and expanded. The content payload can do that. But yeah, the way a WhatsApp group, is that essentially is part of the next roadmap plan after we release the chat of one-to-one wallet. But yeah, we are definitely working towards it.
Thanks, I really appreciate the answer.
Described is the social network, social graph built on top of Web3. If anyone's building that, please, all our DMs are open. Yes.
I'm going to go back to my
that's amazing now. I think that's an amazing take. It's the most logical progression, but Web3 probably requires to evolve before those steps can be taken. That's what I think Harsh was trying to hint at. We have Dhruva with us and Rishik. Dhruva, can you go first with your question and then we can take Rishik's question?
Sure. Hey, Pareen. Hey, everyone. Good evening, guys. Hello. Nice to see you all here. So I'll make my question quick. I think it's to riff off Nikhil's question right now, which is basically that I see all of us like putting hands up, sharing laughs, giggles, etc. Can there be a light framework on EPNS to just support emojis and reactions?
That's actually a very nice idea. I second that. So
I'll give you my address for airdrops. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, you should have put that. You should have put that as a proposal on their governance board, and definitely you would get more than an airdrop. I'm sure about that.
Got it. Actually, on that note, guys, I almost forgot. So there was another review which was here. We keep an eye on governance today. There are some very cool features coming out for governance and some very cool proposals for all of you guys. So yeah.
Yeah, Rishi, go ahead before Harsh reveals something more.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Harsh, Varun, and everyone here. So there was one suggestion which I was also thinking out loud, like Nikhil, which he was doing. So what I was thinking is that, like, since we are sending notification of all kinds of categories, like let's say metaverse, social, then there is DeFi, and then there is let's say alerts, scheduled, like all kinds of different kinds of notification we're trying to send, right? So I think this is like something like Gmail, what Gmail is trying to do. All right, so Gmail sends mail for everything, and it bifurcates them into different kinds of categories, right? So if you check like the mail which are marked something like some mails are marked as important, some are marked as spam, some are marked as let's say social, promotion, so advertisements. So all these are labels which are getting tagged, right? So I think something which EPN is trying to build is like it is trying to create something what Gmail is already doing. So and one more thing I wanted to ask you guys, like instead of marking notification as spam, like it might happen that the algorithm might unknowingly mark a notification as spam, which it might not be a spam. Why can't EPNS team actually stack them and put them like how Gmail does? It puts them under a spam kind of a category and it gives them and asks the user if you want to mark it as spam and delete it off. So that was my thought, and I hope I conveyed the message. Yeah. Thank you.
Got it. So, Rashik, actually, very well put. I might have not explained the spam feature very well. So the thing is, like, before opting in, the service, when I said that the service cannot send you notifications, I meant that those notifications are not displayed on your home screen. Those notifications are landing to the thing which you're calling as a spam of Gmail. We are calling it a spam box feature. And the idea is exactly that even if you haven't opted into a channel, you will receive notifications, but they will not pop in on your home screen, and they will be placed just like how Twitter or Gmail places them as spam. And users can go and check it, and if they think that a channel is sending them useful notifications, then they can unspam it out. The spam score which I spoke about, we are working on it, but that comes in the middle. So an example is, let's say Adidas has a channel, or let's take a Web3 name. So let's say Uniswap has a channel, because they will have a channel. They are already working with us, and they get a lot of users, and they are behaving very nicely till 3 months. And after 3 months, something happened, and their wallet is hijacked, or one of the employee has turned broke, and that employee now wants to miscommunicate. So they will start filing notifications to the users which are not really in the user's best case interest. And if it's a phase, then the spam score will basically ensure that a lot of spam is stopped before these users get affected. And if it's not a phase, then governance will ensure that the channel is taken out, because either it is permanently compromised or it has gone permanently wrong.
Got it. Thanks. Great work, guys. Please keep building, and I'm just hoping I get to use it once. I actually had spoken about one more suggestion, like please add some videos, tutorials on your website, and so that like we can actually try it out on the testnet. But yeah, I think the team is working, but they are not getting time. Thanks a lot.
That's amazing. You're getting product ideas on Twitter Spaces instead of governance board. That's amazing, guys. I think we have Amatya here. You have a question, Amatya?
Yeah, hi, Parin. Thanks for bring me. So I find it really interesting what you guys are building. I was just curious, what are you guys doing about the storage? Like, when I think of chat, WhatsApp, Telegram, or anything, I am a lot of the current features are like being able to delete my own chat from the other person's inbox as well, stuff like that. But that's because the messages are stored on my end in a way, and it's obviously encrypted. So what is happening in terms of storage in this wallet to wallet chat feature? And is like, I'm guessing things like images and videos are still not an option. So is there plans of scaling it to that side, I guess?
Got it. So, yeah. Let me address the question in the reverse order, like images and videos and whatnot. In the start, we will support direct linking of those images and videos, not uploading it somewhere. So if it exists on Web2, maybe we'll be displaying it. Of course, the plan would be to move step by step towards a more specific way of storing these things on a decentralized storage as well. Coming to the point like how we are storing everything, so we actually dropped a hint in our white paper back in October 2020, which was that we will mostly be using IPNS, which is a DNS or DNS link of IPFS, and it gets very technical, guys. So I'll just keep it very short. So a DNS link of IPFS is a mutable hash, or is a mutable URL, which we'll form for every user, and then that user will have the links to IPFS hashes to the latest conversation that they are having with each of the wallets, and that will get updated as the conversation is getting updated. And the latest hash of that chat file, which is stored on IPFS, will contain the previous thread hash link. So the notification or the chats will keep on loading. We will describe it in more detail as we finish or as we align some of the more specs in place. But yeah, in general, this is how it will work. When it comes to storing them, whether they will be temporary, whether they will be stored permanently, again, at this point of time, the token and the token design and the token economics is still getting discussed. But yeah, it will probably be combined with those things to ensure that it still remains spam-free, it still aligns incentives of all the players, and it still functions in a really good way.
I see. Thanks for answering that.
That's amazing. We have Anuj here. Anuj, your question?
Thanks, Fareen. So my question is regarding the chat one, the one you are going to launch soon. So what's your plan for that? Like, are you guys like going to integrate with the other platforms, existing Web3 platforms, and how you are going to use like both push notification thing that you already have it and the chat one? Are you going to integrate both, or these are going to be two different ventures altogether?
Got it. So, Anuj, we are a communication protocol. Of course, chat and notification are going to come under the same context of the protocol. There might be some other cool things which we might do in the future, but we are definitely not going to talk about it in this space. In terms of how we are doing it, so I explained it a bit before that this is a W open chat layer, just like open decentralized notifications, which means any front end can just tap into the network and can fetch all of those things. The way those things are stored and the way those things or those chats will be fetched is something which I just explained how we are going to do it. And we are going to provide SDK, again, just like we are going to provide SDK for notifications. to ensure that most of the crypto wallets can adopt it in case they want to.
Fantastic.
Awesome. We have someone called friendsom.8 crypto zombie. Hey, feel free to ask a question. Hi.
Thank you. So, Harsh, so earlier you were talking about your integration with the Polygon, right? So, I think you already said that it's on the testnet. So, in Polygon, so as you are aware, right? So, there is the bridge feature where we can bridge tokens from Ethereum to Polygon. So, like when it comes to that, so there is a checkpoint involved where our transactions has to be checkpointed, right? So we might have to wait for 30 minutes or an hour, depends on when the block gets executed. So like, is this feature already integrated where like if we subscribe to the bridge related transactions, so if my wallet has any transactions which let us say has any checkpoint related transactions, so when my transaction has been checkpointed, so will I receive a notification? So is this already in production?
Got it. So yeah, that's actually a very awesome question. When I spoke about coming on Polygon, I spoke about basically supporting Polygon and Polygon tabs to send notifications and use iCommunication layer or finally be able to use iCommunication layer to send things to the wallet addresses. For example, you can swap on Polygon or Aave on Polygon or any other tool app on Polygon can do that. But yeah, if you go back to when we announced a partnership with Polygon, we also said that the challenge period which you referred to, we will be solving that for Polygon. So the short answer is that Polygon channel will be launched. It's different than what the reveal was, which was that Polygon will now have EPNS communication layer. But yeah, Polygon channel will be launched very, very soon. And users who subscribe or opt into that channel, they will be able to get an instant notification as their challenge period is completed.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Awesome. We have Huck here. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right. Farazul Huck. Yeah, go ahead with your question.
Hi, Parinda. You were absolutely correct on the pronunciation. Thank you for taking my question. This has been an amazing session. Thank you so much for this. So my question is around P2P communication that I'm talking about. How will a user basically link an account address with a real person? So let's say if I want to message Pareen, how do I find his account address? Or vice versa, that I know an account address and I want to find the real person behind this. And a follow-up question on this would be, how will we avoid people impersonating someone else, so fake IDs or something like that? I hope the question makes sense.
Got it. It does make sense, but our thesis is really different. Like Web3 native layer needs Web3 communication, which means the personal identity of a person should not be really integrated into a wallet address. For example, like a very neat example would be EPNS project. You cannot know who is behind EPNS project, but you like EPNS project, so you can talk to them, you can DM them. And that is because, they are Twitter usernames and you are communicating to a Twitter username with Twitter native communication. So again, when you apply that same analogy to Web3, basically you like a wallet because of the things they are doing. You don't necessarily have to know who's the person behind them, and you're communicating to them in the Web3 native communication. So that's exactly what the Web3 ideology is, and we are going to stick to that. So there will be no way to identify which wallet belongs to what person until and unless they have CNS thing, or they have said that this is my wallet address on Twitter, and or the person personally.
Can I add something here?
Makes sense.
Can I add something here? Hello?
Go ahead, Mike.
Can I add something to the... I think it's a very great question. And I experienced something yesterday with my daughter. So I want to share a very personal this thing to this group. And I think somewhere the answer is hidden there because I just experienced it yesterday night. So my daughter was playing a Roblox game. She's 11-year-old and she was playing Roblox. And I was just sitting next to her and she said, I said, what you're doing? She said, I'm playing Roblox and this is like my avatar here. And I can do a lot of stuff and I can buy, a lot of jackets, clothes. I can change my appearance, but since it's a paid this thing, so I cannot buy it. I wish I could buy, some dresses here. And I said, what's the worry? I mean, you tell me how much is it for? So she said, it's $350. So if you can just buy me some stuff here. So I just went and I used my credit card details and I said, okay, fine, I'll just buy you that. So I think it was for $4, 12 cents. And I got something for her and she was very happy. And like after half an hour, she kept hugging me. She said, I couldn't imagine that you will agree to this thing. Otherwise, you generally don't agree to things so easily. But I don't know why you actually agreed to this. And I said, because I understand the importance of it. So that's why I agreed to it. And that's what I'm dealing into it. It's metaverse. You're playing in here. And after half an hour, she was like talking to someone and she was playing with someone and they were enjoying running in some metaverse kind of a running space. And I just asked her, who's she? Are you playing with someone live? She said, yeah, we have friends live in this game. So she's my friend and her name is Tico and my name is Carol. And we play a lot of games together in Roblox. And today she's complimenting me for my dresses. So she's complimenting me for my this new merchandise. And I'm really enjoying this and I'm really enjoying the compliments. And I said, what's her real name? She said, I tried to ask her once, but she said, yeah, let's be Tico and Carol and let's enjoy and wouldn't it be better if we do not know each other and just know each other by our abilities in metaverse and how we look in metaverse. So let's keep it that way. I was like zapped. I said, what are you saying? She said, yes. I know her as Tika and I know her for the past 6 months. So that's the way things are evolving in metaverse. And I experienced it yesterday night while at my home. So I'm not talking about someone else. I'm talking about my own daughter. So that's how things are evolving. It is not needed that you need to know Nischal or Nikhil or Raghu or Pareen or Harsh. You'll have public addresses. Public addresses will have possessions. And based on the possessions, based on the avatars, based on the NFTs you'll form personality traits in the metaverse. And based on that, you like to have relationships. Once you have relationships, you like to communicate. And once you like to communicate, you need platforms. Once you need platforms, you need EPNS. And since in the metaverse, people will be from different time zones. So suppose Harsh is living in New Zealand. I'll message Harsh. Harsh might be sleeping. Harsh will wake up maybe 10 hours later than me. And when Harsh will wake up, he'll get notification. And he'll say, okay, fine, Kashif is interested in buying my jacket. And that's how trade will happen. And that's how we'll communicate and we'll move forward. I think, so I don't know, I was in metaverse and I don't know if you were able to connect with me, but that is how I look at things. That is how things are getting evolved and evolving in our own family, our own home. That's the way it is.
This was a good glimpse to the future of what's going to happen. And from the metaverse perspective, I think Raghu has been an avid gamer, and I think he can see a lot of these use cases as well. Raghu, your thoughts on what these guys are revealing today?
About the metaverse in general, or like this whole?
No, generally like wallet to wallet. I don't know if you recently joined. What they revealed is that apart from notifications, their push is now going to enable wallet to wallet communication.
no brainer. It has to be done, right? Like the wallet almost becomes this ubiquitous gate pass into the Web3 world, which quite honestly, auth systems in Web2 have not been able. I mean, some market share dominances are there, but it's still not as universal as what it can be in Web3, and it only makes sense for that to communicate. Actually, the reason I joined this spaces was to actually ask Harsh and Richa, who strangely is not a speaker here. It was like a very personal question, right? And a lot of my early formative professional life was in interviewing entrepreneurs and writing their stories. And the one question that I've never had the chance to ask Harsh and Richa was, why did you start up, and what is, now that you have and you've kind of experienced this success and recognition in the space and building something that's so foundational, what is your worldview?
Well, first let me clarify that Richa, there is some bug in Twitter Spaces. Richa is trying to join in as speaker, but lot of people are requesting but not able to join here. So I'm sure Harsh can relay the answer there.
Yep.
Got it. So, Raghu, I mean, to answer your question, like, why if we want to do a startup? Actually, my story has been a bit different, or my journey has been a bit different in this case. Like, I started being an entrepreneur from 2010. I think my mom and dad, they were lawyers. They are lawyers, so they kind of knew, like, it's okay to do a different job or to do something that you want to do. So because of that, I think I got, just out of my college, I wanted to do a startup because I figured, like, even if it doesn't succeed, I have, like, so many years to figure things out. And I mean, fortunately, it did succeed. But yeah, it took a couple of years to succeed. In a way, like for 22-year-old, that startup was a success, which made me realize that it's so much better if I can work on things which I really enjoy, and even things I don't enjoy in my startup, I still have fun doing it, because in the end, the goal or the objective is very clear to me, and it's something which I have been really aligned to. So my motivation for having a startup was always to do things or try things out, take some risk. If it doesn't succeed, you can always go back. And I recommend it to anyone who's doing it. Like, guys, you want to do something, take that risk. I mean, there's so many people over here right now from whom you can learn from. For example, we all know Nikhil. When Nikhil became a VJ, VJ was not really a career option in India, but because he did that leap, that was why he's here, and that is something which he enjoys doing. So yeah, if you want to do a startup, the motivation should be that you want to do a startup for an aligned vision. You cannot do a startup because it will make a lot of money. Because once you do that, you will again be trapped in that same salary structure, because there will be many things in that startup that you don't want to do. But if your aligned goal is just about money, then it becomes boring. If your aligned goal is that if I do this, then maybe I'll be able to create for us, like, the communication layer of Web3. Then even the most boring thing which I did recently was go through 25 pages of legal document. It was boring as hell, but I was glad that I did it, because it made us go a step closer it's the next major reveal, which I will not reveal. But yeah.
Here I was thinking I was going to get a scoop. The reason I the reason I asked that question was because, like, generally in the ecosystem and community, you come across as quite a staunch decentralization maximalist. So I wondered if how much of that played into the role of you wanting to build something as as crucial as a notification system, and now a communication layer in Web3, to get to where you are right now. Like, where did why should things be decentralized in your view? And Richa, please do answer this. And why is it better for the world if there is more decentralized systems at play?
So, Raghu, great question. So, I just maybe touch upon why a startup, and maybe just share a little bit on how we got started on this. When I had a background in technology consulting, but when we started this project, it was just the two of us, right, Harsh and me. The whole idea for us was actually to just experiment. That was exactly it. It wasn't to build a startup, to register a company, or to do all these things. It all kind of followed. We started testing, experimenting with apps, seeing what are the pain points. So it was just like a chemistry lab where we kind of tried things, broke things, tested again, that process. And that's when we realized that this was something that was missing. This was something we could work on. And it was more of a joy and more of a, more exciting, because that was something that we felt that wasn't existing, and we could work on it and come up with something. So at that point of time, it was just an idea that we were playing around. We wrote to Ethereum Foundation. They were super, Ken was here from EF, but they were super supportive. They told us go and hack it out. So I think a lot of people over here who are maybe starting fresh, or are builders, or are kind of dabbling in different ideas, this could maybe help them in some way. Just maybe go to a hackathon, hack it out, create your POC, and I think the community at large, the Web3 community at large, the Ethereum community at large, is really awesome. Because while we were at the hackathon, we spoke to folks from Aave, EPNS, and everybody was super supportive of the idea. They were we would use it if you guys build it. So that is what I think was a major motivation for me, at least. I know Harsh, has had the idea, and technically he was architecting the whole thing. Was the fact that people would really, as a community, stand by you, push you to kind of keep going and keep building, and they believed in the idea. And then what followed through was going through Gitcoin kernel, Gitcoin grants round, where we were one of the top 3 projects supported by, support by the community as top 3, not just in terms of the contributions, also in terms of funding. And that was the first, other than Matic, Polygon giving us a first check of a grant. That was after 8 to 9 months, the first time we actually had some money. Because at that point of time, we were completely soaked in the process, in the project, and kind of we didn't realize along the process that, this is what we are doing. And that's when we kind of registered the company, and the whole process started. And I think maybe I'm just deviating from the question and why we started a process of a startup. So I think for us, it was a lot of factors, a lot of people, and a big community kind of supporting us. And definitely the idea that we wanted to build, and the problem that we wanted to solve, which was, the problem of decentralized communication, which we felt was missing and was a missing piece in Web3. So yeah, that was the story behind, at least for me, the process on why we did the startup.
I'm just picturing.
I think they're just builders.
Yeah.
They can't help but build some cool things. That's all their addiction is.
I'm just picturing Arshad Richa in lab coats with mad scientists going what does this button do? And suddenly something coming up. Damn cool, man.
Exactly.
More power to you guys.
Thanks. Oh, it's been almost 2 hours now. It's just been 2 hours. We can keep going on and on. I still have a lot of requests. Some people are able to join, some people are not able to join, and I think I can see that. But a good thing would be to just get some closing comments from people who are here. And I think Kashyapai dropped for a bit as well. There is some bug in the spaces that keeps dropping people from here. So let's start with Nikhil. Nikhil, you have any closing comments of everything that you've done? You heard so far, and hope we can disturb you from the gin that you're having.
I don't really know whether I can contribute anything from a technical point of view. All that I can say is that, based on all the conversations that I've heard, the questions that have come in from the community as well, and the fact that you guys keep saying, can't talk more, there's going to be another reveal, can't talk more, there's going to be another reveal. It's obviously a very exciting project that Richa and Harsh are working on, and the fact that it's going to do very well is pretty obvious. Like I said, it's one of those things that when I first heard about and I realized that it didn't exist in the first place was staggering, considering the kind of environment that we're used to working in and the kind of notifications we're used to getting in the Web 2 space. What would not even exist in Web 3 was bizarre. And the fact that it's here now and it's going to scale and it's going to go across to various chains and platforms is amazing. And the fact that there's so much more that you're not telling us makes us even more curious and be even more amazed. So I'm just going to go back to my gin and look to the future and keep enjoying spaces like these and conversations like these. And all that I'll ask for Harsh and Rishabh to do is, guys, keep us updated, because this is a very exciting space. And the development that you guys are doing, if there's some way for us to be constantly updated about it, whether it's on Twitter or, on any other Web2 platform right now, just keep drip feeding us information and we'll be very happy. That's it.
Thanks, Nikhil, for those kind words. And yep, more updates coming your way. Maybe I can DM you some of the reveals and let people DM you instead.
Yeah, I think the thing with reveals is that there is just so much packed into one session. For me, it becomes very, very difficult to digest the implications of all of these things that we are building, because it's very hard to even understand the things that are being built today. We take it for granted, but tomorrow it will just feel wow, so logical that I should be able to message someone. And I think one hack that I can think of right now from what you're building, the biggest usefulness. We had a bunch of influencers today. We had a bunch of thought leaders here, and all of these people have their ETH addresses in their profile, right? That becomes their messaging address as well. I don't know if anyone has thought of this, that you could go and message DeFi Dad because his ETH address is known to people, and that is something that's simply not possible today unless you go and spam their Twitter inbox, which is already spammed. Right? So generally our ETH address has become our messaging addresses as well. Just like in India, we are used to giving out our UPI code. If you know Harsh.eth, just go and message Harsh and say, hey, give me some money. I give you a great idea today.
Yeah, just on that note, guys, Harsh.eth is not my address.
No, just message every Harsh.
Don't say any Harsh who tells you that, send me money, I'll send you two back. Please don't do that.
Don't send money, just send messages.
Yeah.
I just had closing thoughts. I hope I'm audible and I'm in sync, because I know there's a lag while I'm speaking. But I just want to say thank you everyone for joining in. There are a lot of people who dropped, like Nishal, Sandeep, DeFi Dad, I think they dropped. But these people have been pivotal in where we are right now, and people who are joining in, the community who's been with us, has been one of the biggest push for us being here. And I think it's just a starting. We're just getting started. We were discussing just yesterday that everything starts with a notification, and I thought that was such a nice way to put it. So for us, everything starts with notification, wallet to wallet, chat, messaging is here, but that's just the starting. So we'll keep you guys posted on all the updates, everything that is that a communication layer can encompass. Look out for that, just like thank you so much for everything. Thanks, Pareen, for doing this.
Yep. Thanks everyone for joining in, and thanks Pareen, thanks Nikhil, Raghu, Nishal, Sandeep for joining in. Not only here, but
you forgot Vijay Shekhar Sharma.
Yeah, Vijay Shekhar Sharma. I mean, I found for the moment in this it's getting recorded, so you can see that.
And lastly, our team, we started as 2. We are now over 20 people. So I think all of them, these guys are rock stars. Yep. So yeah.
Definitely. I mean, our team deserves more than us for what is getting built on right now. So definitely, kudos to the team. They worked really hard. Some of them didn't even take 31st off. So I just wanted to highlight that. They are the biggest and the true rock stars.
Amazing. And we'll keep doing more of these spaces and reveal more stuff. Bye everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you, Ren. Bye.